Hey, hey, hey. Today I want to talk about accessing and assessing your emotions. Accessing and assessing your emotion. This is something that's uh, it's a journey, it's ongoing. I'm a sensitive person. I am a sensitive person. And I'm proud of that about me. I used to didn't understand, like, okay, growing up, it's used against me. It was like, you're too sensitive, or you're just, we're labeled oftentimes sensitive people. So if you're a sensitive person, this video is for you. I want you to access your emotions, and I want you to assess them. And what do I mean by that? Like, it's been a journey for me, and I still do it. I'm conscious about this now, feeling all of it. I am a person, ever since I've been a child, I'll access the joy. Like, I'll show up joyful and, surprised or angry or disappointed or disgusted about things. And I'll access those emotions. Now, the process, the journey is how to respond to them and not react. We talk a lot about that, like responding to the emotion, not reacting, and understanding the emotion. Where is it actually coming from? Is it even a real emotion, or has it been cultivated based on environments, unhealthy environments? And so when I say access the emotion, whatever you feel, I think we should access it. I think I've worked with young ladies, I've talked to them, and suppressing the emotion, that just leads to more anger or more hurt or depression, or like later on down the line, blowing up and don't realizing it. And it's the same for me. I've suppressed things sometimes, not even thinking that I am, but that when you have a behavior that doesn't align with the circumstance, you do something, it's like, this has nothing to do with this situation. That means we've suppressed something along the line. We've repressed it. We've put it down. We tried to hide it. We tried to bury it. So I want to remind you, or just tell you, or share with you that concept. If you can assess the emotion, this is how I feel now. Why do I feel this way? Is it reality of what's truly in front of me, the circumstance? Some emotions you don't need to just, be joyful. That's another thing. Don't suppress being joyful. Don't suppress having light. It is who we are. We're supposed to be that way. We don't have to talk about a lot about that, but I want to say, if we're walking around angry or upset or depressed all the time, then we really need to evaluate that. But this is we speak to the higher self, or people in the spaces where you are on a personal development journey, you're struggling, even in that joy, your environments where it feels like you need to suppress. Don't suppress that joy. That's who you are. And joy doesn't look like, hey, I had that conversation with someone, just like, joy is not a like cheesing, although that may be like me, I'm a smile. That's just me. But people can be joyful and just show it in different ways. Of course, it's not going to be through a frown or being a negative behavior, but joy is just the kindness of the spirit. It's a helping of the hand. It's an enriching of the mind. It truly is. There's so many things about who we are as beings that's complex. And for me, it was just always boxed in, like, oh, you should be mad, happy, or sad. Like, no, we have an abundance of emotions, access them, and then assess them and figure out, how do I move forward with this emotion? Sometimes we don't need to use the emotion because it's not even real. Sometimes we can use the emotion to create an environment that needs to be created. I want you to realize the power of your emotions. I am sensitive, especially if you're a person, like, depending on your degree or field that you're choosing to be in, if you chose something from an authentic and a very genuine space, you may be like, if you're in nursing, I believe teachers, we oftentimes are very sensitive to people because that's just our makeup, and we're born that way. Don't suppress that. Be sensitive. Understand your environment, how to move through it. It is a process. It's an understanding of self. It's an understanding of our patterns, our background, but it is a beautiful journey when you can say, okay, this is my emotion, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for the well-being of myself and others. I'm going to bring myself to this circumstance, to this situation, to this environment, regardless of who else shows up. And whatever emotions they may have, excuse me, I'm going to be myself, and let's do this thing called life together. Emotions are a beautiful space to be ourselves, to grow, to understand who we are, and just respond through life. Emotions are real. They help us heal. They help us feel, and they help us deal with situations. I'm glad to be a sensitive person. So to my sensitive people, cheers to you. Just because someone's not like us doesn't make them, insensitive or And sometimes we can do that. We don't want to label someone for not being like us. That's another thing. To be true to us is to understand and allow people to be true to themselves. I'm in a space I just really want to live my truth, and I want to welcome the truth of other people. That's also a process of not being judgmental of people based on what we see on the outside. And we're not talking about, something that needs to be judged, poor behaviors, from a space of like, okay, boundaries, but we're all in this thing together. We all have so many different personalities. It's a beautiful quilt of love. Humanity is gorgeous. The more I explore my own self, the more I'm open to exploration of others. So sensitive is a gift. Being sensitive is a gift.